Hey, I'm going to answer a question about First Timothy for my friend Seeker Light. Sometimes the words in King James can seem really harsh until you look into the original Greek and see what maybe a better translated word would be. They'll put words like damnation when it really means condemnation. Um, but there's a section there and it's talking about widows. He's instructing the pastor of the church. Paul's writing to Timothy about the church of Ephesus, I believe. That's where a lot of confusion comes from about the women teaching. There were women teaching things that came out of fertility cults, and it's being confused. But right here, he's talking about, the best people to serve with positions in the church are the older widows, because younger widows find another husband and then they go and serve their husband and their little worldly life and forget about their obligation to the church. That's all it's saying. It's not saying that if she leaves her position to get married that she's damned to hell. No, it's just saying there's condemnation there. It's not an ongoing thing that makes the church look good. It makes her look bad, and it makes the church look bad because it looks like she's forsaken Christ for her own husband, and we're supposed to be married to Christ. And that's why he says, it's good to not be married, but it's better to get married than to burn with lust. So you should. But he also says if you get married, now you're going to forsake what your obligations are to the church. So this is all that's being said. It has nothing to do with salvation being lost. We have security in Christ, and so it looks like damnation. But if you look at the original, it's not really saying that. It's more of a lot of the younger widows were gossipy and got into people's business, and he just wanted to avoid these kind of things in the church. It makes the church look bad. So he's saying, let not a widow be taken into the number under 60 years old. So anybody under 60, and it says having been the wife of one man. These are about positions for women in the church. I mean, there were positions for women in the church. Well reported of for good works. If she's brought up children, if she have lodged strangers, if she's washed the saints' feet, if she's relieved the afflicted, if she's diligently followed every good work. But the younger widows refuse. For when they've begun to wax wanton against Christ, they'll marry. He's saying, they get more interested in finding another husband. Okay, having damnation because they cast off their first faith. Okay, that's not saying they lose salvation. It's a really harsh word. We have to look. It's more of condemnation. And withal, they learn to be idle, wandering about from house to house. Not only idle, but tattlers, and also busybodies, speaking things which they ought not. So it's stirring up trouble, and it's causing condemnation, it's bringing condemnation to them. I will therefore that the younger women marry, bear children, guide the house, give none occasion to the adversary to speak reproachfully, for some are already turned aside after Satan. Okay, people can be saved and live like the world. Okay, if any man or woman believeth have widows, let them relieve them, and not the church be charged, that it may relieve them that are widows. Indeed, let the elders that rule well be counted worthy of double honor, especially they who labor in the word and doctrine. Okay, so it's saying that if a man or a woman that believes has widows, let them relieve them. So it's saying, don't put the burden upon the church. You guys as believers should be caring for these widows. You should be guiding the young ones in how to present themselves, how to not be tattlers and gossipers, lest they turn aside after Satan and start getting into people's business, okay, and it looks bad. And then you should be taking care of the widows. But if you're going to bring widows into a position into the church, they shouldn't be any younger than 60, and they should have all these godly qualities. Okay, so that's what this is talking about here. This is not talking about losing salvation. All right, guys. God bless.